Arcelino, who will compete in the lightweight division.
And he and his brother Arcelino, who is fighting in the lightweight division, made quite a
mark on Boxcino in the first round of this tournament.
Let's take a look at the tail of the tape for this bout. Freitas, 29 years of age, and the weight will be a problem considering Cabrera having to lose those 5 pounds to make it to the featherweight weight limit for Boxcino. Here's our ring announcer, Senor Biro.
Introducing in the red corner, wearing the blue trunks, white trim, he has a professional record of 23 victories, 2 defeats, 19 wins by way of knockout. El hijo de la República de Argentina, Gerardo Cabrera. His opponent in the blue corner, wearing the gold trunks and green trim, weighing in at 125¼ pounds. He is undefeated in 10 professional bouts, 9 wins coming by way of knockout. El hijo de la República de Brasil, Luiz Claudio Freitas. 10 rounds, featherweight.
There is Arcelino Freitas, who we will see later on in the lightweight division. He is 21 years of age and just a brilliant talent.
Spectacular, and he will watch his brother perform, hoping that he can also win and move ahead in Boxcino.
The quarterfinals in Boxcino were 8-round bouts. The semifinals, these will all be 10-round bouts. And the finals in September, live on ESPN, will be 12-round affairs. There is Gerardo Cabrera and Luis Claudio Freitas. Referee Jorge Alonso. Round number 1 underway. If you just take a look at the bodies of the two boxers, you see Freitas has a little gleam of perspiration, and you see that Cabrera looks quite dry, Al.
Yeah, that is always an edge when you can come into the ring prepared in that sense, being ready and working up a little sweat. Good right hand by Freitas. He has an excellent right hand, throws the jab very well. When he beat Ramon Guzman in the first round of this tournament, he was very impressive.
Good left and right from Freitas. Round number 1. Luis Claudio Freitas in the yellow and green of Brazil. Gerardo Cabrera of Argentina in the light blue. Freitas 7-0 with 7 knockouts. Freitas has 3 first-round knockouts.
There's the right hand of Freitas. He is a very good right hand puncher, and the reason is because his jab works so well. When you look at him at 29, he does not have a wealth of professional experience. Obviously a very good amateur, long amateur career, but you can tell he's a young man poised to do things in the pro ranks, and this tournament seems tailor-made for him.
And Cabrera still dry as a bone. As we come near the end of round number 1, that has a lot to do with losing that weight.
Freitas has used his jab very effectively here in round 1, and Cabrera, as you pointed out, Bob, many factors working against him now. The weight, the fact that he didn't seem as prepared as he might be in getting ready for this bout, working up a sweat and getting himself prepared to get in the ring.
Cabrera fighting a very defensive first round.
And Freitas landing just about everything he's throwing, and it's all starting off the jab.
Final 10 seconds of round number 1, scheduled for 10. These are featherweight semifinals of Boxcino, Freitas and Cabrera. Boxcino is governed under for the competition. Of course, the semifinals are 10 rounds. Scoring system, a 10-point must system. 8 count for a knockdown, 3 knockdown rule. In effect, there's no standing 8 count, and a fighter cannot be saved by the bell except in the final round. Round number 2 underway in the scheduled 10-round semifinal bout of Boxcino. Bob Papa along with Al Bernstein and Dave Bontempo in Miami. These are featherweights. Luiz Claudio Freitas in the yellow and green. Gerardo Cabrera of Argentina in the blue.
It is amazing how accurate Freitas has been with the right hand. He missed a couple of them a moment ago. He is so tempted to throw that punch, he can almost get right hand crazy and throw it too often, but the jab is setting that punch up. There it is, setting it up so beautifully, he's got to throw it.
Barrios beat Cabrera in the first round of Boxcino with a 7-round decision. That's because there was a cut and they went to the scorecards in the 7th round. But Barrios with visa problems getting out of Colombia, so Cabrera was called in on short notice to continue his quest.
And right now, he, all things considered, it's not such a good trip for him.
Freitas has 1 second-round knockout.
A counter right hand got in there by Cabrera. That's maybe his best punch of the fight. And there's another one as he pins Freitas against the ropes.
Cabrera known for his strong hands.
As you look at Luiz Freitas, he's like a carbon copy of his brother, except in truth, not quite as fast or powerful, but the style is almost exactly the same.
Freitas made it all the way to the quarterfinals of the Barcelona Olympic Games in 1992. He's technically sound. Had a 12-year amateur career.
Sometimes when Freitas pulls out, Cabrera is able to get that overhand right in. That's been about the extent of the offense from Cabrera, however.
Good uppercut by Freitas on the inside.
Again, the lead right hand by Cabrera. He's found himself a little weapon in this bout, something at least to hang his hat on. In the first round, there was nothing offensively from him.
Final 10 seconds of round 2. Gerardo Cabrera of Argentina against Luiz Claudio Freitas of Brazil. We mentioned that his brother Acelino will be fighting later on in the show in the semifinals in the lightweight division. And younger brother Acelino is standing by as we send it over to Dave Bontempo.
Thank you, Bob. Acelino, how do you think your brother's doing so far?
¿Qué você pensa como tu hermano está haciendo hasta ahora?
Meu irmão está boxeando bem. Daqui pro terceiro ou quarto round, o nocaute vem, que ele pega muito forte e começa a esquentar ao pouco.
Okay. He said that he's in his brother is fighting very good. He's a little slow, but he figures around the third of the fourth round he's going to knock him out.
What would you tell him to work on right now?
¿Qué você puede decir a tu hermano para mejorar la pelea?
Melhorar é levantar pouco o braço esquerdo e observar mais pouco a direita em cruzado do argentino e a cabeça dele que está muito baixa.
Okay, to lift his left hand a little higher to stop the right hand of the Argentine and use his right hand and cross more. You figure the Argentinian head is always low.
Okay, thank you, Acelino, and translator Anibal Maramentes. Back to ringside.
All right, thank you very much, Dave. And round number 3 is underway. And Luiz Claudio Freitas has 1 third-round knockout in his career. That came in his quarterfinal win against Ramon Guzman.
And Acelino, his brother, with some pretty sound advice, I think, to Luiz. And there the right hand that Cabrera does get in. the lead right hand of Cabrera is getting there, so the left that Asolino wanted his brother to keep up is still straying a little bit low.
This fight is turning into a little tougher encounter for Freitas than he anticipated.
Yeah, because he had his way in the first round and was able to land almost everything, but Cabrera has walked through it. Now Cabrera has found something that works for him in the right hand.
Midway point of round 3.
You see Cabrera reaching with the right hand, trying to lunge with it. That's when he'll get caught with a big counterpunch.
Cabrera has won 2 third-round knockouts in his career.
People tuning in might look at a fighter like Freitas with only 6 pro fights and say, boy, he looks pretty polished. But the answer is that 12-year amateur career, the Olympic experience. That is what has made it him a special young pro, even though he doesn't have much pro experience.
Cabrera able to land another right hand, and you see Freitas missing wildly. Right hand from Freitas. Final 10 seconds of round 3, and you get the feeling that Gerardo Cabrera of Argentina starting to take some of the starch out of Freitas. Round 4 after this. Number 4 underway. Semifinals of Boxcino. We're in the featherweight division. Luiz Claudio Freitas of Brazil in the yellow and green, and Gerardo Cabrera of Argentina in the light blue. And pretty good bout so far.
It has been a battle of the right hands, basically. Freitas with his right, and Cabrera, who has thrown almost exclusively right hands. There's a hook. Oh, there is about as good a right hand as Freitas can throw. And guess what? Cabrera just keeps walking forward.
Brazil heading into this semifinal round with 3.5 points as a team, meaning 3 of their boxers are still alive. Argentina has 3 boxers now that Cabrera was allowed back into the tournament. They have 2.25 points. Mexico leads the way. They have all 4 boxers still in contention. Venezuela has nobody at the semifinals. They were shut out.
There's Freitas going to the body for the first time. He has done very little of that. And Freitas has a pretty good left hook, but Bob, I think he could throw that punch a little bit more.
And you would think, with all the boxers weighing in at the same time, you would think that Freitas would have established more of a body attack, knowing that Cabrera had to lose 5 pounds as a last-minute replacement.
I think part of it is Freitas has been able to land the jab in the right hand so effectively that he just keeps going to it. And there Freitas gets off the ropes. That's where Cabrera wants him, and Cabrera did some pretty decent work when he had him against the ropes.
Not a very big ring, although for featherweights and lightweights, it's not much of a factor.
I don't think Freitas can throw a better right hand that he just landed, and Cabrera just shook it off. So let's give Cabrera some credit for having a good chin. He's got a good one.
You see Freitas missing wildly. Ring 18 feet by 18 feet.
A very small ring, so boxers need not apply.
Little nick under the left eye of Cabrera. Oh, and I think Freitas is hurt a little bit. Boxino ruled there's a mandatory 8 count, no standing 8 count. Cannot be saved by the bell except in the final round. Closing seconds of round 4. Cabrera coming on, scheduled for 10, the semifinals of Boxino.
And the head's gonna fall. Got a whip. Got a dick.
Tony Marshall battles Darren Mashinsky Sunday at 10 on ESPN2.
We begin round number 5 of the semifinal bout, the featherweight division of Boxino. Luiz Claudio Freitas, 29 years of age, from Brazil in the yellow and green. And Gerardo Cabrera of Argentina in the light blue and white. Freitas 7-0 with 7 knockouts. After a long and distinguished amateur career, Cabrera 23-2 with 19 knockouts. And here's another thing that we'll have to keep our eye on as well, Al. Freitas had that extensive amateur career. He's in round 5. He's only been 6 rounds twice, and he went 8 rounds once.
And he has fought at a very quick pace. He has thrown a lot more punches than Cabrera and has moved a lot more than Cabrera. And so I think it's a very good point you bring up, Bob. How will he get through this? Of course, Cabrera has taken a lot more punishment.
There's blood under the left eye of Cabrera, a little nick that developed in the last round.
And they just banged heads, and Freitas got the worst of that situation. Again, the overhand right by Cabrera. That has been basically the weapon that's worked for him. The only other time he's done well offensively is when he's had Freitas against the ropes and has been able to work the body as well.
But Cabrera with that little peekaboo style, blocking a lot of it. That hook blocked by Freitas.
Interestingly, though, this is a small ring. Freitas has used it very well, and Cabrera has not cut the ring off on him. He has followed him around the ring. And that's what's allowed Freitas to dominate these rounds primarily.
Freitas ducking away from danger. Right to the ear, that scores, but Cabrera just keeps coming. Final seconds of round 5, the midway point of this bout. Freitas will just ride out the round. And there's the bell. 29-year-old Luiz Claudio Freitas. Understand Spanish. Brazilians speak a mix of Portuguese and Spanish. And there is Cabrera of Argentina.
See that cut underneath the left eye? That's usually not in a spot where they would stop a fight, though it could be bothersome.
Much longer night for Freitas than I believe he anticipated. He is in the center of the ring, awaiting the start of round 6. As you look at the face of Cabrera, there's the bell, and round 6 underway.
With the same defensive liabilities that Cabrera showed against Barrios in the opening round of Boxino, the bout he lost, are being demonstrated here tonight. He has been pretty easy for Freitas to hit. There's two examples right there, a left and a right.
Disappointed Barrios could not get those visa problems cleared up because Rosquito would have thrown us a little bit of cheese, as was his wont when he won fights.
That's right. He used to throw them out of the ring when he won a fight, and he demonstrated that in Costa Rica. And they weren't bad. On the inside is where Cabrera wants to work, and there he throws the left hook. He has a pretty good left hook, but he hasn't been in position to throw it against Freitas. He is slowly closing the distance, and there's a jab from Cabrera. What a good idea. I tell you, you made the point that Freitas might have some trouble as this fight goes on into the later rounds. That's something to look for. Even though he's outboxing Cabrera, you see Cabrera getting in better exchanges with him now.
Good hook to the body by Cabrera.
And Freitas laying on those ropes a little bit more.
Freitas has hit Cabrera with good shots, and Cabrera has not backed down, and now Cabrera with Freitas where he does not want to be.
And he is landing right hands, and now Freitas holding on. I think he was hurt by a couple of those right hands by Cabrera. Well, after all this punishment, Cabrera hung in there, and now he's got Freitas in some trouble, I think. He hurt him. And he's against the ropes again, where Freitas doesn't want to be.
Good round 6 for Gerardo Cabrera of Argentina.
The left hand of Freitas is going very low. That's what his brother mentioned to Davey B. And I'll tell you what, he's paying the price.
Yeah, he's getting hit. There's some body work by Freitas, but Cabrera just digging in.
The fire is out of Freitas' punches. They are not making an impact anymore. They're arm punches.
And referee Alonso separates the boxers as we come to the end of round 6. And Gerardo Cabrera, given a second life here in Boxino, is starting to make the most of it. Let's check in with Dave Bontempo.
Thank you, Bob. To expand a little bit more on the tournament concept and the money these guys have, at this stage, 80% of the purse money is available in the last 2 rounds. That's why the pressure is on and the incentive is high for these fighters, culminating with $12,000 in the final round. Why that's important is you get a little bit of a reward for winning and enough of a disparity to keep these guys interested. These guys, half the field remaining coming in here is 25 years or less, so still very impressionable. Now, if you're Cabrera trying to backdoor your way into riches here, what an opportunity, perhaps on the verge of scoring an upset and then being in the 12-9 competition later on. So the escalating purses and the fact that they're right there has kept the Boxino tournament, for the most part, intact. Now back to you guys at ringside.
All right, David, what a story that would be for the 22-year-old Cabrera.
Especially to come back after losing the first round of the tournament and then being so far behind in this match. That was the first round that I gave him in this bout, was the 6th round.
I thought you might be able to make a case for Cabrera in round 5 as well.
That's possible.
I'm just saying that because I did.
Well, but you know what? If you did, Bob, that's a good enough reason to make a case for him. That is a slip.
Yeah, that's a trip. The legs got tangled, but you can see the fatigue on Freitas starting to show itself a bit.
Cabrera did an excellent job in round 6, not only working the head, but also the body, and that body attack will have an impact on Freitas. And you pointed out, this is not a distance that Freitas is used to going.
No, he's only been 8 rounds once. He's 7-0 as a pro with 7 knockouts. Whereas Cabrera has been past round 6 on 4 separate occasions.
And ironically, strategically now, Freitas is going to the body of Cabrera. You mentioned that would have been a good thing to do earlier. He is starting to move to the body in his attack.
Cabrera was notified that he would replace the man who beat him, Barrios, just several days ago. Flew in from Argentina and had to lose 5 pounds to make the weight.
Freitas has changed, and by the way, what you just said is an indication that maybe Cabrera may have some trouble going the distance as well. Freitas is having a much better round now. He's using the jab much more effectively, and it's a hard jab, and it's stopping Cabrera in his tracks. So, good strategic move by Freitas. To get on the inside using his own jab, and pays the price by getting nailed with 2 big right hands.
Funny thing is, Cabrera keeps coming forward.
Amazing, and I'll tell you what, it is becoming obvious that Freitas apparently does not have the power to knock Cabrera out. We've got some rounds left, but he's hit him with some tremendous shots, the best he can throw. It's been a very entertaining bout.
You may think that, well, losing 5 pounds for an athlete, a boxer, is not a lot, but when you only weigh 126 pounds to start, it's a huge percentage of your whole weight.
Yeah, that's the key element when you're down that low. 5 pounds makes a huge difference. That's a whole other weight division.
Final seconds of round 7. Better round for Luiz Claudio Freitas of Brazil. Round number 8 between Luiz Claudio Freitas and Gerardo Cabrera of Argentina. Scheduled for 10 in the semifinals of Boxcinos in the featherweight division. Let's take a look at Al's scorecard through the first 7 rounds.
I have Freitas at 69-64. I gave all but 1 round to Freitas, and I think he is dominating this bout, even though Cabrera has had some very good moments.
I have it 68-65. I gave round 5 to Cabrera, along with round 6. But close fight.
Cabrera throwing the jab finally to work his way in. He's underused that punch a lot in this bout. It would have helped him.
Freitas going southpaw. Changes that up. Right hand missed. There's that right again from Cabrera as he stalks Freitas.
In round 7, Cabrera, I think, hurt Freitas with the right hand against the ropes, but Luiz has done a very smart thing. He has kept this fight in the center of the ring since then, and it's benefited him.
Cabrera slick defensively as well. You saw that move there against the ropes. Freitas looking to the referee Alonso for a break.
Well, and he is, I think, a little bit fatigued, as you point out. As you said earlier, I think this distance giving him a few problems. He's not quite as sharp as he was earlier.
Never been past 8 rounds.
Still boxing well as Freitas, but not landing quite as effectively as he did before, and Cabrera able to get inside and do a little better work. Like here when Freitas is against the ropes. Look at him land those right hands.
Oh, those rights hurt Freitas. You cannot be saved by the bell except in the final round. Closing seconds of round 8. Freitas holding on for dear life. And he makes it to the end of round 8. Roughed up near the end of round number 8.
And here is the right hand by Cabrera that started the problems for Freitas. That's the one that really rocked him. Knocked his eyes back in his head. Freitas was able to scoot through the rest of the round, but has he gotten it together? I don't know.
Round 9 starts out well for Cabrera.
Freitas in that corner, that is just where they don't want him.
And Freitas down to a knee. Count at 6. That was almost like calling for a fair catch there. Hey, what a swing in this bout. If a judge gives the last round to Cabrera, now you have a 2-point round here if Cabrera keeps this up.
It may be academic. This small ring has not helped Freitas either. He has not had as many places to go, and now he is just pinned in that corner. This fight might be very close to ending.
And Freitas down again, and the referee has stopped it. Jorge Alonso has counted out Luiz Claudio Freitas, and Cabrera goes to the top rope. Loser in round 1 of Boxcino allowed back in when Eduardo Barrios could not get his visa problems out of Colombia. Cabrera has to lose 5 pounds yesterday before the bout and wins and advances to the finals.
An extraordinary turnaround as that man, Luiz Claudio Freitas, was beaten after appearing to have victory well in hand. And the foreshadowing of it was what you pointed out early. He had not gone this distance, and he worked very hard in the early rounds, and it just caught up with him. And how did this man Cabrera do it? He did it with primarily using an overhand right. In this round, he cornered Freitas again. The hook was effective. A body shot sent him down. And as you point out, it was almost a chance for Freitas to try and clear his head. It didn't work. He got him against the ropes here and wailed away on him with that right hand. And it was at this point that he said, no, I can't do it anymore. The referee stopped the bout, and Luiz Freitas, the victim of an upset here at Boxcino.
Gerardo Cabrera goes to 24-2, his 20th knockout. And Luiz Claudio Freitas suffers his first loss as a professional. He is now 7-1. Wow.
What a disappointment for this young man at 29. You see, he's crestfallen over what has happened here. He performed very well over the beginning of this bout, but this man, Cabrera, just was dogged in his determination and was able finally to corner Freitas and get him out of there. How about, Bob, how many big punches that man took in this bout?
The official time of the stoppage. Send it up to our ring announcer, Mark Biro.
Ladies and gentlemen, the time, 58 seconds of the 9th round. The winner by technical knockout and advancing to the finals, Gerardo Cabrera.
That means 1¼ points to Argentina. They now have 3.5 for the tournament. Gerardo Cabrera stops Luiz Claudio Freitas in round 9.